when we are all on holidays, and we look back, whether we're in the Champions League or we're in the Europa League, and we look back what we've done. I think everybody would agree that we did more than it was expected, for sure.
And your group of players are young, and on average, I think the youngest. Do you think that they've got what it takes to close the gap between the likes of?
Well, they have shown that it takes, because what they've done in the last 10 seasons, nobody's done it. A club.
It's interesting there, Mikel Arteta talking in this interview with the BBC about overachieving, about meeting expectations, about nobody expecting Arsenal to be where they are right now. And I think what's kind of interesting is that, pretty much no pundit predicted they would be in the top four. A lot didn't think they would be in the top four race. And Arsenal had some good moments this season. They progressed in particular areas, but of course, in the end, ultimately failed in their objective to get themselves into the top four positions. And the reason that I focus on that, this isn't about bashing Arsenal as such. I want to get Arsenal fans' reaction. I want to get football fans' reactions today. It's another episode of the Fan Channel reaction show. This is what it's about. What do fans think? What do fans feel? We're going to take a look at what some Gooners have got to say on this. But there's a tweet here from Harry P. And of course, Arsenal fans are keeping receipts on this sort of stuff. Harry here says a few weeks ago, he said it would be a failure not to qualify for the Champions League. Now he's saying they've done more than everybody expected. Arteta is the biggest liar in football. Now, this is something that you hear and see, in my opinion, regularly from Arsenal fans. They're consistently talking about this. And we're going to hear from Curtis Shaw. We're going to hear from Lee Gunner. We're going to hear from Jess in this show. So stay with us, smash like buttons, and leave that comment section below. But on a real level, have Arsenal overachieved in anybody's opinion here? And I'm not asking that question to be salty. I'm not asking that question to be disrespectful. I'm asking that question from a real place. Do people feel they've overachieved this season? It's been spoke about a lot this week, but I want your views and I want your honest opinions on this. That's what I want. I want to know what you're thinking and what you're feeling. Now, we're going to hear what Jess has got to say on her channel. We're going to put this up on the screen, as you can see, put this in big and see what Jess had to say on this matter today.
All right. So essentially, we got the wage bill down so that in the summer, we can be able to do the things that we want. Again, the risk that they took not doing anything in January, and even further, weakening the squad, that risk did not necessarily pay off. So it needs to pay off this summer. So
just jump in there real quick. Jess is speaking absolute facts there. This is one thing football fans have got a habit of doing. All fans at all clubs, not just Arsenal. The team failed in achieving something you want or hope or think they're going to do. And we never blame the club. So you might have a situation where a team falls short of winning a league title by a couple of points. And we were so unlucky. Yeah, maybe if you bought the players that you got in January in the summer, you'd have been better throughout the whole year and accumulated 2-3 more points. You still have to look at your football club. You don't need to throw baby out with the bathwater, but you've got to keep the standards up.
Me personally, I don't want to hear anything about how much we don't have the money. We need to sell players. I don't really want to hear any of that. I'm not really interested in the window is difficult and it takes all the way up until the last week of the window to make any sort of signings. The risk that they took leaves the margin for like this kind of stuff really, really paper thin. And I think a lot of fans feel this way, that you risk not getting top four. So we don't want to hear any more excuses or anything like that.
Bang on. Because you've got to remember the narratives. I.e., like Harry a few moments ago, when we're looking at what was being said by Arteta just a few days ago about its failure not to make the top four. Now it's overachieving because the media didn't expect us to be in a certain position. Remember what was being said by the Arsenal tier ones from Arsenal's mouths via the press releases in January. We're going to go big in the summer because we haven't gone and bought anybody now. We've thinned the wage down. We've got rid of the dead wood. We've got rid of the problem players. We've fixed the culture for you so that we go big in the summer, so that we're ready to go. There are no more excuses. There are no more excuses. There can be no more excuses on this. In my humble opinion, there just can't be. Look, but as I say, I want your views. I want your opinions. I want to know what you're thinking and feeling about this. Next up, we're going to hear what Lee Gunner has had to say on this claim of overachieving so far this year. We know that Lee's going to have some choice words about it. Make sure like buttons are being smashed. Comments are below. Let's do this.
We've overachieved. But he then sits there and says, we've raised the standards at this football club, and says we've overachieved. But then in the next breath, he says, this club should be the best in the country. Well, which one is it then, Mikel? Have we overachieved by finishing 5th, or should we be the best team in the country? I don't know. Maybe you're just shit. Hope you're well, Matt. Hope you're good.
The thing is, I know a lot of Gooners don't like the way Lee goes about things. And yes, he can sometimes use the wrong language for 2022. He can. And he can sometimes be very abrasive and disrespectful and rude. I do think people have to realize it's almost a reaction to how people treat him. But he makes a great point there. This is where Arsenal fans have got to wake up. And all football fans have got to wake up. We consistently get spun this PR nonsense. We'll go big in the summer, trusting the process. The player wants to join this project. We're on our way. We've got to do this. It takes, all the buzzwords, non-negotiables. They're all thrown out there all the time. But nobody keeps receipts. Remember, Arsenal Football Club themselves said that the culture has been fixed. And then when they went through a rough patch of 3 or 4 defeats, they released it. Oh, we're bringing an external company to help fix the culture at the club. You said you already did that. This is the point I would make to Arsenal fans. The same energy I had for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this past summer at my own club. So no hypocrisy here. You've said you fixed the culture. You've said you built a squad. You said you've done all the things you need to be successful. You're going into your 3rd year. Start to achieve by the standards of the club that you're at, the history, the heritage, and what you're spending in a contemporary sense.
Good, man. Big up to Chike for the donation as well. When can I do my quiz with you and Jez? Got all my questions ready. I have no idea, bro. I don't even know what I'm doing in an hour after the stream with friends. But we will do it this summer. 100, bro. This summer. 100%. I just need to get on a beach, mate. I've got today, tomorrow, Sunday, and I can go sit on a beach, mate. But it will get done. 100.
There we go. Make sure you're checking out Lee's channel, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I also want to take a look at what Curtis Shaw has had to say as well, because Curtis, of course, big Gooner, positive. Listen, and Curtis Shaw, again, we know he's not an Arteta fan, but very popular, speaks to a lot of people, but is 5th place progress? That is the big question that we're going to look at and dive into on this. Now, let's see what he had to say.
Face annoys me. Vieira's intensity is what we need. Top flight security of the world, Craig. That's what we need, people. But Mikel Arteta has said, I'm just going to give you the headline. He said, in a week's time, when we are all on holiday and we look back at what we've done, whether we are in the Champions League or the Europa League, I think everybody will agree that what we did was more than what was expected. Now, I have to try my best here.
You can see he's like, I'm going to have to hold this in. I don't want to react.
Add balance, because you can't always act on emotion.
Yeah, you can't.
He's
go on,
in a position
Curtis,
where he's allowed to say this because the board are telling him that is acceptable. The board are telling him, we want a top 6. You've got top 6. So that's good enough. For me as an Arsenal fan, it causes me absolute pain listening or reading what he's saying. I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand where Arsenal are as a football club anymore. I really don't get it. People talk about the rebuild, and maybe you can't just go from finishing 8th to winning the title. I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting strides forward. This is Arsenal Football Club. We're a giant of English football. We pay the highest season ticket prices. We've spent £250 million since he's been the manager. He took over a club that had finished 5th. he spent $250 million and we're finishing 5th. And he's telling us that everybody should agree that it's more than what's expected. Now, just to clarify what he's saying in this interview and where he kind of gets out of it a bit, I can't cap. It's there in 4K. I said it at the start of the season. I felt we'd finish 6th or 7th. And we finished 5th. So people will say what you predicted at the start of the season, he's outdone that. But what I always say is football changes on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. Tottenham are probably going to get 4th. Nobody predicted them to get 4th. They've got 4th because they got moving and shaking. They knew their manager wasn't good enough and they got an elite manager in. He brought two signings in that made a significant difference in January. This, for me, sums up where Arsenal are as a football club, more than just Mikel Arteta. For me, our standards are absolutely in the gutter, right?
And listen, I think he makes a great point there. There's no doubt about it. It's the perfect point. Arsenal fans predicted top 6. Most pundits predicted top 6. Most people predicted they'd get more points. They'd probably win a few more games. But football does change. Opportunities open up and present themselves. And there was a chance, just like when Leicester won the league, there was a chance that year for, on paper, better teams with better managers at the time, in Poch and of course, Arsenal with Wenger, to win the league title, and they didn't seize upon the opportunity. That is frustrating. And it is about standards being in the mud. You can say we have progressed in areas, but we are sorely disappointed that we missed out on the top 4. We go, you know, I know I moan about the cliches, but we kind of go again next year. We need to look to be better. You can praise a team, but still set the standards high. You can say there's been progression, but we're nowhere near where we want to be. It's almost as if we're really happy with this. That's how it comes across. But I think when you listen to Curtis, when you listen to Jess, when you listen to Lee Gunner, they echo almost the same message. They explain it differently, but they're coming back to the same point for me as an outsider looking in. Arsenal need higher standards. No more excuses for Mikel Arteta. You trim the wage bill so we could spend more. Let's go and get the right people. Let's go and bring the experience in now to get us back into that top 4. Arteta has no more excuses. It's top 4 or bust next year. That's how it's standing from most Arsenal fans. But I want your views. I want your opinions on this. Please make sure you smash that like button. Leave us your comments below. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon.